Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday. Apologies for our lateness and apologies for not being here last week. However, we are back now, and we are up to session 35 of Masks of Nyarlathotep. So, let's go around our virtual table once again before we get right back into where on earth we left off, which is probably best described as general panic and things like that. But first, we will start off with introducing Mr. Perry Astor.
Yeah, Perry Astor, Canadian explorer, feeling a little bit better than he has been recently. He's starting to recover from the incident on the train, physically at least.
Good separation there. Very good. And we have Annie Jones as well.
Oh, sorry, I was too busy looking at a mirror. What?
Would you like to introduce the person in the mirror?
Hello, I'm Annie Jones, and I am the femme fatale of the group.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and Pranit?
Well, to be fair, you are the only femme in the group. Whether you are fatal is yet to be seen. My name is Pranit Singh Dillon. I'm a former soldier, Punjabi, Sikh, to be fair. And I really can't wait, as I said, Jason, this afternoon, to screw things up a little bit more during this chapter that is looking different and difficult and really time-oriented.
And Charles Barrington-Smythe.
Yes, Charles Barrington-Smythe, who has gone from functional drunk to drunk, mostly because of all the terrible things he keeps seeing. He's still rather reeling in shock at the sort of grand revelation that we do actually have a globe-trotting serial killer in our midst.
Sorry, what, I was looking at the mirror again.
Okay.
Is it behind me?
Apparently. Do you want to describe said serial killer plus anything else that happened last session for some luck?
Well, I don't know how lucky I'm going to be, but I'll describe some of what happened last week. So, after our fantastic raid on the tea shop that went without any complications whatsoever, just want to make that clear. We returned. We returned to the hotel with the stuff we'd nicked. Chief among them was the book that was translated by Pranit as the Black Tome. Makes reference a few times to the small crawler. There was another passage involving leopards that we had a good discussion about. The following morning, Annie called the police, the detectives, regarding the bodies in the basement of the tea shop. We were hoping to cause some delay or distraction to the there. Pranit had a vision, a wonderful vision of the Black Pharaoh basically doing his very best Tinder, just basically trying to set him up with a nice lady because he thought he had potential. Just so many possible avenues for jokes there, but I'm not. I'm going to resist every single one of them for now. Whilst Perry, Pranit, and I went to Fort Smith, Annie stayed behind at the hotel to chat to the guests, as it became very apparent that a good chunk of them were actually cultists They were all getting ready to head north to the mountains for this big ritual happening in a few days. They were going to walk it up there. And unfortunately, we found out that they were starting that wonderful trek today, which rather put a spoke in several of our plans. Meanwhile, while that was going on, we three Banley men went to Fort Smith to speak to Captain Montgomery about Lieutenant Selkirk and the Carlisle expedition. We talked to a Sergeant Bumsham, who was a witness to the events. He talked about the bodies being ripped and shredded. Animals wouldn't touch the remains, which is kind of question, that. But he was getting a lot of prompting from the captain as well, which and he mentioned that 4 or 5 of the victims were white, including one woman, although he was very vague as to specifics. When we got back to, we all met up again, sort of traded information. We were discussing what we were going to do about the fact that all these cultists were sort of heading north, and how we were going to prevent them, whether we were going to try and stop them reaching the mountain or whether we started picking them off when they came back. And as that was going on, Pranit noticed a wisp of smoke from the hotel, and it would appear to be from one of our rooms. And as I pointed out, I hope it's not mine because there's a shitload of booze in there.
Indeed, there is.
So not a lot happened last week, 2 weeks ago.
Nah, not really. Okay, so you get a D8 worth of luck for that. And I think everyone else has done their improvement rolls as well, have they not?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything.
Did anybody get any luck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
managed to
getting
actually
10.
get some.
Ooh, good, because you're going to need it, potentially. Okay, so very quickly then. So Sanity, I don't believe there was any change. So Annie, you should still be on 58 Sanity.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. And what's your luck score now?
It is 75.
Still 75. Okay. Perry, 94 Sanity. And how much luck have you got now?
29 luck.
29. And you're on 6 hit points, right?
7.
Get a
I've
bit
got
more.
that as.
You're on 7, yeah. Okay. Pranit, you are on 76 Sanity.
Yes, indeed.
Full health, but still a
19
major
luck.
wound. 19
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom. And Charles, 48 Sanity.
Yeah, I'm
and
now on 46 luck.
Oh, 46. Oh, I don't know why I started reading that out because you've just got a load more. Okay, lovely. And yeah, we are still, I believe it's the middle of, no, we're not even at the middle of the day yet. No, it would technically be sort of mid to late morning of Saturday, the 21st. So yeah, we're going to jump right back in. So yeah, you've just seen this wisp of smoke coming from the suite.
Yeah, I'm running in. I remember I said it last thing
Yep.
a couple of weeks ago. I'm running in, rushing in.
Indeed.
Now, obviously, I assume Pranit is thinking, "Oh my God, our possessions, our clothes." I'm thinking.
No, I'm thinking the books. I don't give a damn about physical possessions because it's not in my religion. So I don't give a crap about that. But I'm thinking more about stuff we need in order to successfully kick some ass.
Oh God, the booze.
Okay.
You need.
So you're not far from the hotel. Again, you can sort of see the top of it from where you are. Basically, you kind of go back down the hill towards this little creek or river of Fort Smith, and there's a bridge a bit further up, which is how you get across. But you've noticed actually that there appears to be just across the river from where you are, rather than towards the hotel. There's a crowd of people, all appear to be Africans, who weren't there when you were sort of up convening at Fort Smith before. Someone quite well dressed, and again another African by the looks of it, is sort of talking to them. Appears to be on a slight sort of raised sort of section of the ground. Appears to be giving them a speech of sorts. Annie, what is your Kikuyu again? Is that about 12?
It's not great. It's 15.
15. Okay. Yeah, so you do actually catch snippets of this speech anyway, and he's projecting very well, so you can easily hear it from where you are. Whoever this person is, he's talking something to do with people up in the north, something to do with evil, they are being threatened, people are disappearing.
So this is a street preacher, did you say?
I mean, you don't really know who it is, but you think it's possibly a street preacher. He's not wearing anything religious, you don't think. He's just wearing sort of a suit, but again, very well sort of well dressed and tidy. And he's obviously captivating this audience. You can see as well in the crowd, there's sort of a mix of people, sort of Africans, you think, who are more local, wearing sort of regular clothes. And then you've got more traditional clothing as well, sort of mixed in.
I'm gonna join the throng of the crowds and so this isn't it's not like on a proper stage or anything, is he?
No, it's very impromptu. He's literally just up on a bit of raised ground, and he's sort of addressing them.
Okay. I'll wait around a few minutes, see if he sort of finishes his speech, and then try and grab a word with him.
Okay. Obviously, Pranit, you're heading off towards the hotel. Charles, it sounds like you're doing the same, given the booze. Perry, what are you up to?
I will probably go with Pranit and Charles, but when I get to the hotel, I will be loitering in the reception. I won't. Bit nervous of the fire. I won't go near the actual wing where our rooms are.
Okay, cool. I mean, the going is quite slow with you because you've still got these two sticks. So whether the others stay with you or run ahead, again, up to you.
The time, I'm afraid time is of a factor.
I can make it.
I have to save the boot. I mean, save the place from going up.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. So you head off. Annie, you kind of go and join the crowd. You can give me a Kikuyu roll to see if you sort of can hear anything else about what he's saying.
Failed, obviously.
You failed. Okay. Yeah. You only get a couple more snippets. Again, sort of very basic stuff. He mentions the word Kenya several times, maybe in the context of them as a community, possibly. But certainly at the end, everyone looks kind of captivated. There was one point, though, where there was a little bit of uneasiness, tension, and then he kind of argues a point, you think, from the tone he's bringing across, and then they become convinced. And then you notice, once he's kind of finished his part, some people then start kind of stepping forward individually, and they say something that sounds a bit like, "I will go."
Right. I want to try and speak to this guy properly if I can, or with a translator. Are there any Europeans in the crowd?
None at all.
So I probably stand out a bit at the moment.
Yeah, you do. And actually, people have started noticing you and kind of stare at you curiously, as does the guy who's, again, sort of raised up and speaking to everyone. And he actually comes down to you. You notice that some of the crowd is kind of talking amongst themselves, and you can't quite hear what they're saying. But he looks at you with sort of curious raised eyebrows and says, "Oh, was that an intriguing speech to you, madam?"
Yes, I must confess my Kikuyu is not great, so I didn't understand everything you said. But about the troubles in the north, I believe, and the disappearances.
Yes, you are correct. Yes, you are. And he introduced himself as Johnstone Kenyatta.
Why does Kenyatta ring a bell?
Well. So again, he's very sort of well dressed, Western clothes, and actually, it dawns on you that the building that you're standing outside. Let me name it quickly. It's the Kikuyu Central Association, so it's some sort of communal, maybe like a political building or something like that. But he says, "It is a pleasure to meet you, and it is very humbling that you at least understand a little bit of my my language."
Any
Yes,
chance? A pleasure to meet you too, Mr. Kenyatta.
not a problem at all. Yes, it is quite troubling. We have had various Kikuyu communities from the north come down here to seek our aid. So, as you can see, and he gestures around to again a few crowds talking amongst themselves about things. They have agreed to help. It is quite troubling. There are creatures, animals. They are being slaughtered. Children disappearing.
Yes.
But we are gathering a force to go up there quickly.
I fear it is about to get worse. I would like to speak with you in private, if I may.
Certainly. I'm just going to do a quick roll. Okay. He's respectable and he's happy to talk to you. He kind of gestures inside actually to the building. Please, I do not have anything formal like an office, but we can find a
It's
private
fine.
area in there.
So once we've I'll go in and
With with the most respect, Miss Jones, I was quite surprised to see a white person show any interest at all. But we are very proud people. We do not wish for the British to be the ones to save everyone, if you understand me.
I understand. What's going on in the north, I believe, is part of a more global problem.
A global how so?
But there is a cult of religious practitioners that I have been tracking all over the world with my friends. And some of whom aren't British. In fact, I'm the only English. Oh, actually, no, hang on. Charles Barrington-Smythe's English, isn't he?
Yes.
No, and in fact, I'm only one of two Britons in this particular group. But anyway, this cult has been, I believe, is behind a lot of the disappearances. And today, a large group of them have gathered here and are setting off to head up north to perform one of their big religious practices, which will be happening on Thursday.
You see him almost gesture you down with his hand, again, politely, but almost as if he doesn't really want to hear what you're saying, as if it's causing some sort of inner trouble. And he says, I have noticed in particular recently there are more incidents one cannot explain. I was hoping to leave all that behind me. My grandfather, he was a Murogi. We call him in Kikuyu. I suppose in English that would be a diviner or perhaps a shaman. Some British would call him a shaman. It is ironic, almost. I am hoping to change Kenya for the better. I am hoping to bring us into a more modern, progressive era. working with the British to do that. And yet, as I strain towards your heritage, you come towards mine.
This cult have a big religious day on Thursday. And the location of their practice will be, and I'll give him the location.
Abadare Forest. Yes, Mount Satima. There are many communities up there, and again, many have come down here to call us to help them. I fear for many of their lives. But this has been going on now for 5 years or so, and it is becoming more frequent.
There are 2 very important dates to this cult. This Thursday is one. It'll be bigger than anything you've seen previously. The other is next January, I believe, wasn't it? January 15th, if I recall.
14th.
14th. The other is January the 14th, which will be the most important date that this cult has.
You understand that I care for my people. I want them to be safe. I do not care for some strange dates that these cultists have in their diary, but I do care if it encroaches upon my people and hurts them, it kills them, it starves them, it starves all communities. If you want to help, then of course I will not stop you. But that is why I am going up with them.
And as I said, this cult is, I believe, the people behind the disappearances. They summon creatures. And
Yes.
on Thursday, they're summoning what they believe to be their god.
I have heard other people talk of these things before, the villagers included. Ndovo in particular have come down today. Much of what you say I do not understand, and even more of it I find hard to believe, but I do perceive something about you, and I do perceive that you are interested in doing more than simply helping us. You want to stop this cult around the world.
I do indeed.
I do not know what your plans are, but there is a man, a wise man, called Old Bundari. I am willing to tell you how to meet him. He may be able to help.
That would be most gracious of you.
Give me several moments. And he steps up and he sort of presses down his suit. And he heads off somewhere outside, you think, but only just round the corner. And literally within a few minutes, he comes back in and says, a friend waits for you outside. He will make sure that you are not left behind. If he stops and waits, then you must also stop and wait. The door he enters will have yellow paint. That door you will enter also, swiftly and without hesitation. Do you understand me, Miss Jones?
I do.
Then I hope that you can get the help that you need.
I hope my faith in you is not misplaced.
Well, like I said, I am hoping to at least contribute to help change Kenya for the better. You may see great things happen here in the future.
I hope so. I just wouldn't put too much store in the British to help.
He gives a gentle smile. It was a pleasure to meet you, Miss Jones.
Likewise. I go outside and wait for this guy to turn up.
Okay. Meanwhile, going back to the others. So you, well, at least 2 of you anyway, you rush to the hotel. Pranit and Charles, do you go straight up to your penthouse?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I say to the receptionist that the last floor has smoke coming out of the windows. Maybe that's a fire.
Oh my goodness. Right. And yes, he clicks his fingers at a couple of concierges and tells them to head up with you.
Call the firefighters or whatever. I
Well,
don't know if they were a thing here.
we don't
I
really
mean,
have such a thing. But I will see if I can get some water.
water, sand, anything.
Yeah, he nods, and you think he maybe goes off into a back kitchen. There may be something in there, you think. But yeah, you head on up to the rooms. Charles, you get there first.
Yeah.
So you head in. So again, there is kind of the drinks cabinet. It looks like that area has not been touched.
That's fine.
in
Where is the smoke coming from?
So yeah, you get into the main part of the room, and again, like I've sort of mentioned before, you kind of have your own area of the room with sort of private areas. The fire is coming from Pranit's bed,
Fuck.
and it's kind of
Could have put
weird
money.
because
I could have put money on that.
it's kind of weird because you expected by now, given you saw the wisp of smoke earlier, for it to be really going up, but it's not. It's kind of almost finished, as if it's burnt really quickly, and there's lots of sort of little bits of fabric, and also you notice paper that's sort of floating around in the heat. And you also notice that there's a book open on the bed. You think it might be the one that Pranit was reading about the genie, that one in Arabic that he used to summon up a fire from earlier.
Yeah.
And the massive sword that you found in Amara Shakti's place is also resting in a very prominent place, which it definitely wasn't before. It was in your trunk, Pranit. And as you get up, you see this as well unfold before you, and you also see that your trunk is open. The clasps are almost kind of melted or sort of dripping off. And you also notice on each of your bedside tables, not just Pranit's, but on each of your tables, there is a single box of Darjeeling tea.
Nice. If there's any sort of little flares or little flames or anything, just douse them out.
Yeah, it's easy to do. There's quite a lot of the glass has melted a little bit, and there's a lot of black smoke now coming up. The two concierges are looking at this, obviously in shock, but you notice that they're eyeing up the sword, and they kind of look at each other, and it's as if cogs are whirring in their head.
I'm suddenly wondering if we this entire fucking see everyone was saying don't burn this place down that's full of innocent people. I'm starting to question that assumption now. I don't think there's anyone innocent in here apart from us.
I'm resting my hand on my scimitar and telling them, well, apparently the fire is over, so you can go back to your colleague and say water is not necessary anymore.
Yes, it's wonderful. Yes, it's all taken care of. Fantastic. Go.
Were you stroking your own sword blade? Is that what this was?
No.
Yeah, he had his
I'm
hand
just
on
gesticulating.
the
I got my hands firmly staying on the sword, so that if they act up, I just unseat it.
Okay.
Yes.
But you're kind of making the point, right, that you've also got this sword at your belt and blah blah blah.
I'm just ready. I don't want to intimidate or something.
I'm just going to give them the it's I'm just
Becky.
going to give them it's going to be the full merge. Yes, we're perfectly fine. Thank you very much for caring, but we've got it all under control now. And sort of moving myself out of Pranit's room into their sort of path and trying to shoo them out the door.
Yeah, well, they haven't really come in, but when you do that on your sword, one of them, his eyes just widen, and he actually starts running off down the corridor.
All right.
Wonderful. See if you can catch him.
What, you say that to the other one?
Yeah.
Okay. He sort of nods, but again, he does look really scared, especially of Pranit, and yeah, he does bolt.
If
Whilst
anyone asks, that was a misunderstanding. No one was intimidating or threatening them. Right.
I believe you, old boy, but I have a feeling we might be able to convince the establishment from there on in. I think we're on borrowed time here.
Okay, Perry.
Yeah.
By this point, you make it into the hotel and get to the lobby. Didn't you say you were kind of going to wait down here and?
Yeah, I'm going to be extremely nervous to the fire, so I'll go to reception and said, "Has Mr. Barrington-Smythe and Singh Dillon arrived back yet? Have they managed to inform you of the fire upstairs?"
Yes. My colleague did go to get some sand from out back, and at that point, two concierges, white as a sheet, come rushing in, and almost kind of collide with the front desk and get right up close to the receptionist and say, the man from Mombasa, he's upstairs with his big sword.
No.
What? What are you talking about? Yes, I recognize him. He came in from the train. It all makes sense.
No. That's my friend. Mr. Dillon. He has a ceremonial sword. He's a Sikh,
No. He had that as well, but a huge one, huge blade.
You mean his dress sword? That's just ceremonial as well. Don't be silly. He doesn't go around injuring people with it. It's.
Can you give me some sort of persuade? Because I don't think you got fast talk, have you? Some sort of persuade roll with a penalty, please.
With a penalty. Oh, great.
Yeah, because at least
I need that.
at least one of them is pretty convinced.
Okay, I've got a 31 in charm. I've got persuade, 10 in persuade. What was the other one? Fast talk.
Yeah.
Which
I don't think anybody has.
5. Okay, so you want persuade, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay, so that was a miss, and 2 misses.
Okay. Yeah. It's as if something beforehand convinced them that no, it's definitely somebody bad upstairs, and the receptionist is now starting to look a bit concerned as well. Right, I better make a call, and he starts reaching over to the desk, like underneath the desk.
There's no need to call anybody. I've explained it. It's a ceremonial sword. He's a Sikh. You must have had Sikhs here before, surely.
Well, no, not really, sir.
Well, it's something the Sikhs have. They carry it with them. Well, I don't honestly see the problem. You have people walking around with guns. I mean,
well, given there is a murderer at large in Mombasa, there's no harm in calling the police, is there?
I should imagine there's more than one murderer at large in Mombasa. I don't know. See where you happen to pick on my friend.
He's carrying on, and he lifts up the phone and starts calling. Are you going to do anything?
I will. I'll head up to the room, and as soon as I get there, I will say to Pranit, "You need to make yourself pretty scarce."
Boy, I'm sorry.
You need to leave and hide.
All right.
They're sending for the police for you.
It would appear they're not quite misunderstanding you, dear boy.
All right.
I would suggest we pack our stuff and make our move.
Well, we're leaving soon anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. It is clear, though, that Madame Kaur has found me, given the 2 tea boxes of my nightstands.
Hmm.
I don't know what she was, or maybe her thugs that we saw around the shops were trying to do with my stuff. But since my trunk is useless, given the clamps that don't work anymore because they melted, pick the book, pick the sword, hide them anywhere I'm running, and I'll see you. Where could we meet?
Well, if there's anything you need, put it in one of our rooms. We'll say it's ours.
Well, again, it's a suite, so it is really
Oh.
kind of one big room with various. Well, alcove is too small, but you know what I mean. Almost like a not wing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just tell you to take the books and the sword, leave the rest. It's not worth anything. And sorry, Jason, is there anywhere not close to the tea shop where every one of us has been?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of places you could potentially rendezvous.
That other hotel, actually.
Yeah, Hamilton House. Yeah.
Well, yes, although remember that is kind of more into where there's quite a lot of buildings. Whereas if you want somewhere a bit more secluded, there's various different districts where you could kind of go out to if you want. Although there's quite a lot of open ground, like the parks, if you remember from like near Government House, which you're pretty close to.
All right.
But I mean, I don't know if you want me to bring up the map again. If you've got
no, there's. Oh, all right. Yeah, thing is, I'll try to get them off my tail for a couple of hours. Then we could meet up anywhere you want, and then leave.
Will give us a chance to pack stuff ready for moving out.
Oh yeah, there we go. So Hotel Norfolk is at number 7. So just here. This is where Becky is now. Actually, no, beg your pardon. Just like here is where Becky is.
I think you need to move as well, Pranit, because the hotel is right next to the police station.
Yes, indeed. I was just about to say it's right next to it.
All right. Yeah, I'll be running as fast as I can, and we'll meet each other near the government house in a couple of hours.
Okay. No worries. There are. You think
British government in there? Is it British government?
Yes. Of course.
Might be worth going there and trying to seek asylum.
Well, we'll see. In terms of getting out, though, out of the hotel, I'm assuming you don't want to go straight through the main lobby. You think there may be a couple of other possible routes out? Maybe somewhere that staff use, like a different stairwell, or there might even be a fire escape.
Yeah, I'm going for that. I'm not going to the gas stairs, elevators, or whatever. I'll try to find the sneakiest way out.
Okay.
Perry, dear boy, you're good at the old sharpshooting.
Yes, certainly. Yes.
You'll be able to cover Pranit as he heads down, just in case someone notices him and alerts the authorities. We can always blow his brains out.
I don't know if we want to start shooting at the police, do we? In all honesty,
Great
big
way
picture.
to.
We need big picture thinking. Meanwhile, I'll try and delay them at the door here if they come up and start asking questions.
Okay. All right.
With that in mind, I want to find. I'm going to look at all the booze that's there. I want the one that's got the strongest whiff.
Okay. Strongest whiff.
Yeah, the one you know, the one that's really has got a really strong aroma on it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if there's anything local to Kenya at the top of my head in the 20s. I know that they have a bit of a thing for Bacardi nowadays, but obviously that wasn't really a thing. But let's say that you find like let's go for a rum or something similar, so it's got that kind of flavor in there, or maybe a whiskey.
Right, because what's going to happen is these guys are going to probably knock on the door. At which point, I'm just going to pour a little bit over myself, so when I open the door, they're going to get the full waft of a
Okay.
whole load of booze right in the nose. And I'm just going to give them the full drunken, listen here, and just kill for time and give Pranit time.
Okay. Fair enough. So, okay, you kind of get an idea of a fire escape outside one of your windows. So there is a way down, no problem. It is, however, quite exposed given the side of the building
Yes.
it's on. It's just adjacent to the front. So whether you want to do that or not, you don't know. If you want something a bit more secluded,
which side?
it's the side facing all the green grounds. So it would be on your right to going out.
Well, the reason I ask is it the side that's right next to the police station? Because that would be a bit of a no-no.
No, it's the opposite.
Thank
But
fucking
again,
right.
given there's a lot of open ground, you don't know. But okay. So whilst you're thinking about that, or whether you want to, try and something a bit more secluded, let's jump back to Annie for a second. You do indeed, after fairly promptly, actually, after about 10 minutes, you see a rather tall-looking African approach you. He still keeps his distance a little bit, but he gives you a friendly nod.
I say hello in Kikuyu.
Muriega.
Is that a Bond villain? I have no idea.
It means hello.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of gestures a little with his hand, but then he starts to walk.
Okay, I follow him.
Okay. So you follow him for quite a way through the main sort of central part near the industrial area of Nairobi, out towards a district called Swahili Town. There is like a little compound, which actually you remember something about a missionary place that Dr. Starrett worked at. In fact, no, you haven't met him yet, have you? Was that Constantina? Okay, never mind. In that case, you see like a missionary place in here where there's a vicar and so on, tending to people. But he leads you beyond that, actually, up this uphill towards this seemingly yellow door, very kind of bold-looking door. And you see him go in after another little nod.
I'll follow him straight in, but I've got my hand in my handbag because I have my derringer in there. And I can't be 100% sure that these guys aren't cultists.
No. Okay, so do you just open the door, or what do you want to...
Well, I just follow him in.
Listen. Okay, so you follow him in. And it appears to be a garage of sorts with a Rolls Royce. It's not like brand new or anything like that, but it's certainly a workable Rolls Royce.
Okay.
And he's sitting in the car.
Right. Well, I'll get in the back.
Okay. And off you drive.
I think I've just got us transport to the north.
Maybe. Right, where is it? They sandwich this section in the middle. There we go. Okay. So you head out to a small village, considerably poorer than the rest of Nairobi. Even the sort of districts that you walked through, this place is very poor. However, the people there seem cheerful and very friendly when you pull in. They immediately start looking at you, and they're kind of trying to look inside the car. You don't know if they've seen a car before. And there's even sort of children around and trying to crowd. The man, this friend, gets out and approaches somebody else who you think may have been expecting him, or at least knows who he is, and starts talking. And it's almost like he's trying to explain who you are, or try and give you admission to something.
I shall get out of the car and stand by the door. So I'm just sort of stood by the door waiting to be invited.
Okay. Okay. The children get out of your way, but then they start looking at like up and down at what you're wearing. Are you wearing like a dress or a skirt or something
I
like
imagine
that?
so, yeah.
Okay.
And
You
I'll
actually
say hello to them in Kikuyu. What's your name?
they giggle, but one of them does say his name, Tambo,
Hello,
and
Tumble. How are
he
you?
actually tugs on your dress a little bit. Doesn't lift it up, but just sort of tugs on it as like, what is it, sort of thing. And somebody else, after you've said hello in Kikuyu, gets a little scared, like this little girl, and actually runs to her mother who's come out. But anyway, so the other man comes up to you, and he introduces himself as Okomu, and he says to you in English, but quite sort of slow, slightly broken English, "You have come to see Odbundari, yes?
Yes.
Then please come."
Thank you.
And he doesn't really take his eyes off you. You don't know if it's because he's suspicious of you, but he's still a little wary. But you head into by far the largest hut of all the huts in the community. From what you know, like the smooth curves look a little out of place on this hut. They're not really Kikuyu in style, maybe Maasai or Nandi. But when you get in, it has blatant sort of Kikuyu heritage, sort of decorations and fetishes, masks and so on. There's a big smell in here of incense and so on. Lots of signs and symbols in the central room, particular on the walls, sort of arranged in these lovely patterns. You can give me an occult roll if you like.
Yes. Also, but that's it's a hard pass. Also, might be
Okay.
relevant. I do have anthropology as well. I don't know if that's relevant.
No, although actually, you've got a bit of Cthulhu mythos, haven't you? You could give me a roll if you want for lols.
No,
No, okay.
no. But hard pass on occult.
Yeah. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of warding symbols on the walls. You also see them scratched into the dirt floor as well. Excuse me. And this Okomu, he leads you in, and you see this very small old man, very old. You think he's a good sort of 80 years old, maybe even more than that. And he's sitting so still that it's almost as if he's not actually alive. You can't see him breathing or anything. Let me just get him up quickly. You assume that it is Oldbundari, although it's on the thing, so of course that confirms it, doesn't it? Because he's got a name tag. He's got these piercings in his lip, all down his forehead. And you are invited to sit, and Okomu offers you very basic refreshments, things like milk, some sort of quite stodgy food, and things like that.
I'll say thank you in Kikuyu.
He gives a little nod to you, but then he starts going up to Bundari. He actually takes one of his legs and unfolds it from the more sort of lotus seating position that he's in and starts rubbing it. You think maybe he's been sitting there a very long time and he's almost kind of restoring circulation or something, but then puts it back, folds it back into its original position. And whether you eat or not, he's sitting very, very still for a good sort of half an hour longer before he finally awakes. And Okumu goes up to him, makes sure that he's all right. But then Bundari starts talking in Kikuyu. You don't think he can speak any English, but Okumu is happy to translate for you.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I will speak as much Kikuyu as I can, but I will explain that my Kikuyu is not brilliant, as they've no doubt already heard.
Okay. As his eyes have been opening, by the way, it's almost like he's come out of a very deep sleep, so he looks very tired, but quite quickly, it's almost like he becomes very animated, certainly in his eyes and his expression, and he's staring at you with great curiosity and intent. And he basically asks you through Okomu as his mouthpiece, why have you come to me today?
I was sent to you by
Kenyatta?
Kenyatta, Mr. Kenyatta, Johnston Kenyatta.
Kenyatta.
He said our interests may converge.
Why do you think that, young one?
Well, I have been tracking down a cult all over the world. And I am working with a group of people who are of a like mind to stop this cult. We have tracked them to the north of your country. They are about to perform one of their great rites. It happens this Thursday.
You speak of the bloody tongue.
I do.
Yes, they do indeed grow arrogant.
For the blooded tongue, there are two big dates that are above all others, where the stars are apparently in alignment. The smaller of these dates is the second most important of all of their dates, but
Yes.
the lesser of them is this Thursday. Members of the Bloody Tongue have travelled here from all over the world and are currently heading up north now.
Time is indeed desperate. And your mission is most perilous. People across the land have been disappearing into the mountain, stolen by this bloody tongue. For the blood sacrifices you say are coming. Many of us pray night and day to Ngai, the lord of the Kerenyaga, to stave off this evil, but they grow strong and they grow cocky. How have you come here to know of such evil?
I have my own story, or the story of the people I've come with. They differ slightly, as I have only joined them recently. But I'll tell them a brief synopsis of my own story and also the story of the group.
You say you want to stop this cult, but how are you going to do that?
Well, the main thing we must stop, of course, is the event, the date in January. That is when they believe they'll be raising the Black Pharaoh permanently. As I understand it, and have just discovered, this Black Pharaoh is being arisen temporarily next Thursday.
No. Your findings are slightly incorrect. I have heard Egyptians In my dreams talk of a black pharaoh, but here, in Nairobi, here, in the mountain, it's a great tendrilled god, the bloody tongue. He has no face, but a long tendril coming out of it, and he devours anybody who gets too close. I fear that the Black Pharaoh is the one and the same. But you have still not told me how you are going to stop these dates.
Well,
I feel you have no plan.
I did have until I bumped into Mr. Johnston. I was going to get as the British Army to round up as many of the cultists as I could before they got up there. But Mr. Johnston, Kenyatta says he would rather not have British involvement, and he has sent me to you instead.
My child, whether the white men are involved or not, the bloody tongue is powerful. An army will not stop him. Do you have anything else besides the strength in numbers?
I do, but I fear it would not be enough for this.
Do tell.
And I'll reach into my blouse and pull out the biyaki feather. And then put it back.
Ah. Very valiant. I do know what that does, but no, it will still not be enough.
I know.
But also, you must think about whether you will survive the mountain to stop the world from falling apart. I fear that that will involve something more.
Yes, undoubtedly. I mean, honestly, I did not expect to be able to stop what is happening on Thursday. I found out about it too late. And I myself and my friends, I don't think we have the means. We were just going to do what we could to do as much harm as we could.
All this time, his eyes have been fixed on you. He's never blinked once. And it's almost like, in a non-creepy way, if you can possibly think this, he's almost searching your soul to see if you are pure of heart, if you really intend to try and stop this evil. And he listens to your tale, and he says to you, I may be able to help with the mountain, but with the world, no. I will meditate upon this. And he goes back into his cocoon, if you like, and goes still once again.
I'll just wait. Drink some more of this mother's milk.
Mother's milk. It's been nice, the mother's milk. Okay, I think we should take a break there. And we shall come back.
All right. See you in 10.
See you in 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Just reading the corkboard. Kenyatta told Elias about the bloody tongue, so he already knew. So he might know something as well if you get to see him again. It was all in the Elias notes.
I knew I recognised the name from somewhere.
Yeah, he interviewed him when he was in Nairobi.
But I think this might be a possible major plot thing. This guy seems focused very much on the big picture.
Hello.
Hello. We
I'm
probably don't
back.
have time now, but we still haven't tried to see Nelson at the Victoria Bar. We probably have time for that one. Though.
Well, no, I mean, I'm still of the mind that I was going to try and get that colonel guy, whatever he is, to give me some men to round up these
Montgomery.
cultists en route. Yeah.
Captain Montgomery. Yeah, you had like a 3-pronged plan, and then I kind of messed it up for you.
Yeah, thanks. Woman of action, no point.
I mean, you could have completely ignored everything I was saying. It's a sandbox.
It's not
Yeah,
a sandbox.
Yeah, I suppose a sandbox implies that it's safe and you're playing.
It's a sand trap.
It's quicksand, and we're slowly
It's
sinking.
quicksand.
Okay, so
Wouldn't that be great in golf if it was actually if all the bunkers were quicksand? That would make golf more interesting to watch as a sport.
not really.
Mm.
And
Gonna
he's
be a bit
stuck in the
worried on our
bunker
date.
there.
Right. Anyway, so back to the others because you've not had a scene for a while. Perry, let's jump to you first. So again, he's speaking to the police. He's telling them that there's possibly the Mombasa murderer here upstairs and all that. And you see him kind of look to the concierge, and they sort of shout down the phone. And as well.
I'd already gone upstairs to warn Pranit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Absolutely. I'm so sorry.
So what we'll start doing is we'll start maybe moving important stuff. We think it's important stuff out of Pranit's room into ours. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Basically, there's the Sword of Akmala. Again, very big sword. The book, which you actually see the page it's opened at is completely charred. Like, it's now unreadable. There's the tea, if you want to keep the tea. And the rest of the trunk. So the Black Tome. Actually, the Black Tome is no longer there.
This might seem a little bloodthirsty, dear boy, but if we manage to get our hands on this woman, can we actually just cremate her and put her in one of our Darjeeling tea cans? Seems rather fitting.
Where did we pick up this Black Tome again? I can't quite remember.
That was in the basement.
In the basement of the tea shop.
So she's come for it back then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're blown.
They might need that for the ritual. So we perhaps do want to destroy it.
So I guess you dragged the trunk, just into your room. Okay.
Yeah, but if they were here and they needed it, why didn't they take it?
They did.
I mean, it's not there in Pranit's trunk, and you can't see it anywhere else.
The Black Tome is gone.
Oh.
So, Pranit, decision time. Are you planning to get out the fire escape, or are you thinking of some other route?
No, fire escape.
Fire escape is okay. Cool. So you head out onto the fire escape. You can't really see anybody directly below you, at least. However, I'm just going to make a quick roll. They're further up here, aren't they? You do hear the sound of British voices coming from outside, or possibly outside the police station, you think?
Still, I'll try to get down the stairs as fast as I can in order to run and hide somewhere. I still don't think that going inside the building is the greatest idea, since maybe I mean the policemen will go to our room first before checking outside, so I don't want to run into them.
Where is it you're trying to hide exactly?
Exactly, I don't know. I just wanted to get as far as I can from the hotel. Maybe in some sort of what was it called? The neighborhood in the bottom left corner of the map.
What, the European district?
Oh yeah, all right, the European district.
Yeah, you could head into there and hide amongst the buildings, I guess. But there is the big open ground at Government House to get across, potentially. Unless I suppose you could try and head like a more roundabout route. Actually, yeah, you could hide under, not under, but in amongst the cover of some of the buildings. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky, and it's all very low-lying shrubbery or like flower arrangements and things, so no trees or anything like that to hide. But if you're planning to just simply move as quickly as possible, can you give me a con roll, please?
Yes, just a sec. Constitution. No.
You could push.
Yes, I'm pushing.
Oh God. Oh, that's an extreme.
Okay, all right. So adrenaline definitely gets the better of you. You almost kind of double step your way down the fire escape, and you're making a lot of noise, but at the same time, you really don't care. You just want to get as far away as possible. And yeah, you bolt across the railway line, and into the buildings there, and try and work out the best way to get across to the European district from there. The two of you can hear the clattering from the fire escape from where you are, actually.
Well, you
Turn
might
and run.
in a bone.
Are you joining in with the singing, Perry? Probably figuratively rather than literally.
I'm stunned by the singing, and I'm probably going to get arrested for.
I think he's. I think he'd join in if he knew the bloody words. But
Yeah.
that would rather presuppose that I was singing any.
That was singing, was it?
So after a couple of minutes of caterwauling, you hear a very sort of vigorous knocking on the door. Excuse me, would you mind opening up, please? We have some questions for the Indian man staying with you.
A little bit of. So
yeah.
I open the door slightly, and to see who's there.
Oh. Pardon me, sir. Is the Mr. Pranit the and he kind of gestures like
who
is it?
Who is it I'm looking at? Is it a police officer or?
It is a police officer, yes.
I kind of look at him sort of blankly and sort of look all the way down and then back up and then say, I'm sorry, I think you've got the wrong. You're definitely not the exotic dancer that I ordered.
They roll their eyes and try and get past you.
No, there's just Do you
Can-
have legal grounds to actually come into this establishment?
If you're going to try and keep up the drunkenness, you're going to have to give me some sort of strength roll. Or if you want to just kind of get rid of that facade and stop them, you can.
I will give you a strength roll.
Okay.
I am going to spend 6 points of luck to make
Okay.
that an extreme.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You stop them, no problem. Somehow with this kind of like lazy eye thing going on,
Yeah,
and trying to stagger.
I
But
think
yeah, you're
because I'm
holding
kind of I
strong.
haven't quite fully opened the door, so I'm sort of leaning my weight
Mhm.
on the door, so I'm kind of causing a wedge.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they start protesting and saying, "Sir, if you're going to make this more difficult, we're going to have to take you down to the station."
I'm not making it difficult. I'm merely asking for you to show your legitimate papers.
Perry, what are you doing at this point?
I'm going to put the sword in the bed under the mattress, and I'm going to lie on it and rest. I'm injured.
Yeah, realistically, I can do this for maybe a minute more before they just thump me out the
Yeah,
way.
you are outnumbered. There's 3 of them, so they will be able to put in enough force if you persist.
You know, so I'm playing for time but sooner or later they're going to thump past me. So whatever you're doing, do it fast.
Okay. So going back to Pranit for a second, you get down to the bottom of the fire escape, and you can, if you take a little peek round to the front, it doesn't look like there are any officers outside. You think hopefully they're kind of making their way up, and therefore you've missed them. But yeah, are you kind of wanting to head in to the kind of more, I guess, like snickets of that part of the district, or have you got a specific plan for where you want to run to?
No, no specific plan. I was actually trying to first get as far as I can from the hotel, and secondly, find somewhere quiet to let things get colder. Maybe an alleyway or something like that, where I just can hide and wait.
Yeah, it depends if you want to get right into the European district onto Nairobi Hill, up a hill, like further up there, or if you just want to stay in the near vicinity, because again, there is that open ground between the two.
No, I'm trying to.
Actually, come to think of it, something I have just spotted as another idea. There is a mosque where it says number 11.
Number 11.
Jamia Mosque. I mean, obviously you're not Muslim, but at the same time.
What about the Arboretum?
There is the Arboretum as well, but again, it's not going to be big, thick trees or anything like that. It's going to be more, like nice little pretty shrubs and very well trimmed and kept sort of thing.
All right, mosque it is.
All right. So again, if you want to run fast, give me another con roll.
That's not a pass. I just want to see how much luck do I have to spend. All right, I'm spending the tank that I gained with this improvement to make it a pass.
Okay. Yeah, because you know that even though the police did go up to the room, there's going to be some about potentially like having a little walk around and so on. So yeah, you try and dart your way down that path towards the mosque, and yeah, you think that you've managed to do it in a short amount of time, and therefore you've not kind of lingered around, loitered, that kind of thing. So yeah, you head on in. You're kind of out of breath, and you hear your feet hitting the marble, and it's sort of echoing around a bit. as you're stomping around, but you kind of come to a stop a bit. And the people in there look a little confused at you, and they're sort of looking down at what you're wearing, your sword and things. But they're not going to stop you from being in here or anything.
All right. So if nobody asks questions to me, I just catch my breath and wait a while in the main hall. I'm not going into the praying area.
Yeah, sure. Okie dokie. So back at the hotel then. So they do eventually get the better of you, Charles. But
Wait a minute. Do you know who I am? And more,
well, we're about to, sir. When we question you later.
more importantly, do you know where my sizable bank balance is?
Bribery is not going to work here, sir.
I
We are
wasn't
in pursuit of a
bribing
murderer.
you. Excuse me.
Write
I'm
that
not
down.
that drunk.
Write that down.
I'm not that drunk. I was not bribing you, sir. I did not mention any monies exchanging hands or for services rendered.
Two of the officers
asking you to do that as the exotic dancer.
Two of the men are actually holding you against the wall, and the other one's gone in to see, if there's anybody else in here. And he sees you, Perry, and goes, "And who are you?"
Perry Astor. Who are you?
Well, what does it look like?
Well, what are
We
you
are looking
doing?
we're looking for an Indian man who's staying with you, Mr. Pranit.
He's not here, I'm afraid. He's gone ahead of us to Colonel Endicott's.
He went down the servants' quarters, servants' stairway thingy.
Well, he has obviously gone out of the room or vacated in another manner because the receptionist saw him come up here not 20 minutes ago.
Yes, and he left 15 minutes ago.
Yes. Was it 15 after the
15?
fifth drink?
It might have been more than that. We can't speak for the competence of the hotel staff, I'm afraid.
He looks at the bed that's all burnt up and says, "And what is this? What happened here?"
There was a fire.
There was a night of passionate lovemaking. It got hot.
Yes, there was
Your
a
friend
small
talks
fire.
a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think someone must have left a cigarette stub burning or something. Most unfortunate, but obviously not much.
That sounds more plausible.
Yes, that's happened a few times in the near past.
Yeah.
Weren't you both travelling on a train in a carriage where the same incident happened?
No.
No, I can categorically, absolutely tell you that the same incident did not happen then. There was no burning bed.
You do appear to match the description of the passengers. However, I will get somebody to check.
Excuse me. Is that because we are white?
He looks at you
That's
very confused because he's white as well.
I'm going to write a very stern letter about your profiling.
Your own country's police. You are British, are you not?
Well, they didn't get you out of Scotland Yard for nothing, did they?
He calls out to another couple who are coming up and tells them to go and check at the station for your descriptions and things like that.
The way I see it, the reason of being an arse, by the way, is the way I see it. If we're holding them back here and taking the mickey and delaying them, it's giving Pranit more chance.
Yeah, and it is buying them time. However, for you, maybe not.
Well, we're not denying we're on the train. It's just that we're denying the fact that it was a cigarette that caused it,
or that there was a bed involved.
Yeah.
There are no beds on the carriages on the train.
Then you can't claim that the two incidents were in any way similar.
Still,
Your
we're going
word,
to
sir.
speak with you at the station. If you would like to come along, we can validate your descriptions there.
That's- well, there's,
He
hold
looks
on,
over
I
to
need
you, actually, Perry, and says, "Are you in need of a wheelchair, a walking stick? Are you well?"
Yeah, I'll just need some time to get there. I can probably make it. Yes, a walking stick would be very useful, and just some time.
Well, we don't have all day, sir, but I can.
I'm very sorry for being injured.
There is a murderer on the loose, sir.
I'm sure there are several, and you're not catching them in here, are you? So let's get on with it.
I'm sorry. Who was murdered?
We have received several reports in Mombasa and here of people who have been murdered. And in fact, there was a robbery just last night, which possibly could correlate.
Who's been murdered here?
He gives some names that you don't recognize.
When was this?
And he kind of looks back at you. Well, I'm not going to give you everything, am I?
Oh, before we got here, then.
And he kind of ignores you at that point. He does get you a walking stick. Yeah, he kind of.
Look, I'll go and speak to these chappies and I'll sort it all out. It's all fine, all fine. I don't think you need to distress my friend here with the physical rigors of having to come to your station and then be questioned when he's clearly invalided is not very nice of you. Ungentlemanly conduct, sir. If we were in Britain, I'd be slapping you about the face with a glove.
You can give me some sort of social role for that. I would say intimidate, but it's also not. Really...
It's not in the least bit attempted to be.
It's
the closest I've got is charm.
I mean, because none of you have fast talk, but really that is what it is. But I'm not going to be mean and make you do a 5% roll. Give me a combined credit rating and charm. How about that?
Oh,
so I've got to do whatever's the lowest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pass.
Was that charm, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
My charm is slightly less than my abundant credit rating.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so after that, he blinks a couple of times and ruffles his moustache a bit and says, "Oh, very well, very well. But you," and points at you again, Charles, "you are coming."
Yes. I hope there's a decent bar.
It's a police station, sir.
Yes, and I hope there's a decent bar. Don't tell me you buggers don't drink.
Oh, come on. And they lead you out.
Right. At this point, I sort of, turn round as much as I'm able to Perry and sort of with a serious face on for a second, just nod. And head back out with a kind of drunken glee.
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it, Charles Pranit has the skills. Perry's got the experience. Annie's got all the sort of background of the occult and everything else. Charles is the weak link. If I can just kill time and keep the police away while you guys do what you need to do, then I'm at least doing something productive, even if it's by way of prevaricating.
Mm. And the party has split 4 ways. Hooray. Pranit, quick question. How long did you say you were planning to kind of wait in hiding before meeting back up with the other 2?
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. So that amount of time passes. Basically, Perry, you're just sort of waiting in your hotel room, I guess. You're not planning to go out or anything, are you?
I'm going to start preparing the stuff to leave.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Cool. Charles, whether you want to carry on the drunken facade or whatever, kind of again elongates their procedures, but you are eventually let go.
Yeah.
They do find that yes, you are, that is your description, but they haven't got enough evidence to take you in specifically, or
No.
you think Perry, and they don't know where Pranit is from what you can tell, so they do let you go. And Pranit, you lay low in the mosque. There is a prayer that takes place at one point. Now that we've reached lunchtime, but you don't really see any officers come this way, or at least don't poke their head into the mosque or anything like that.
I make a point of, when I leave the police station, still sort of shambling a bit, back to the hotel, back to the elevator. When I get off the elevator on our floor, I'm moving at as breakneck speed as I am capable to get back to the room.
Oh,
Okay.
Can I ask inside of the mosque if there's a phone?
No, there's no phone.
Won't be.
How was about public phones back in the day?
Well, in Nairobi, probably few and far between.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have like phone boxes or phone booths out
Yeah, I
here.
imagine so.
There'll be a couple of buildings that would have phones. Hotels, of course, Government House. You do remember seeing a phone in there.
If it's a one-way message you need to get to someone, you'd almost be worth seeing if you can get a runner and just get a message to the person. Just write the message and send a runner.
Yeah. Actually, what I will say is that you've certainly seen kind of young boys go around with the big sheet of Nairobi Star and delivering that. So you could potentially try and get one of them if that's what you're planning to do.
The mosque will certainly have runners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, to be fair, my thinking is I don't know what kind of investigation the police is undergoing.
That's
because a message is easier to intercept. A phone call
Yeah.
back in the day wasn't.
No, you couldn't track a phone, of course.
Well, I just ask someone inside of the mosque if they can point me to a phone that I could use, not in the building, of course, but something they know about.
I suppose it depends in which direction you want to go in, but the closest are either going to be back to Government House, or there is also the Nairobi State Hospital, which is heading towards the other side of the European District, south.
Number
Number 28, if you're looking at the map, yes.
No, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going to the hospital.
Go to the hospital. Okay. And off you go. So, what were you trying to phone the hotel, or?
Yeah, I want to phone the hotel to see if Perry and Charles are still there in the first place, and then if we are clear to meet.
Okay. Charles, you were heading back to the hotel, weren't you? Which
Yep.
literally stones throw away. Okay, so you do get back in then. Yep, Pranit, you get through to reception. And I mean, what, do you just ask for
Charles Barrington-Smythe? Yes.
Okay. Okay, so there's a little bit of a pause, but they do say, yes, I believe they are both back in the room, sir.
Oh, that's marvelous. Could you put me through? It's Winston Green calling.
Another pause. Very well. And you kind of go through. The two of you hear your phone ring.
Are you gonna get it or me? Yeah.
I'll answer it. I'll get it.
You pick up to the sound of a very Indian-sounding Winston Green.
Hello.
Good morning, Charles. This is Winston. How are things?
Oh, hello, Winston, old boy. Yes. It's been a rather busy morning. How are things? How are things where you are?
Yeah, they're fine. They're kind of quiet. Well, I could see, given the likes of you, that this was a dynamic morning. I just was wondering if everything was cool with you and if you were up for a walk.
Oh yes, yes. I would say after the morning we've had, a nice stroll will do us the world of good. Do you have anywhere good ideas in mind? Any walks in the area we should think about?
Well, we could see each other where we decided in about an hour. What do you say?
Yes. That yes. Oh yes. We'll do that. Yes. Oh, that'd be lovely.
All right. See you in an hour then.
Okay. Goodbye, Winston.
Goodbye.
I put the phone down and say, I didn't know his name was Winston.
Okay, so I didn't quite get, sorry, if you decided where you were going to go. I was still getting over the Winston Green thing. Did you say somewhere specific?
No.
Government House. Yeah, we said Government
Yeah,
House.
we said it before. We
I
didn't say it on the phone.
No, not on the phone, but we decided before I fled
Yeah.
All right,
to
and then
meet
you insinuated
at the
it.
Government House. Yeah.
And you said in an hour.
Yeah.
Yes, because I imagine, given how far I am, that's about what it takes me to get there.
Probably a bit less time than that, but yeah, sure. It depends how quickly you want
Might
to go.
take us a
really.
little while. It might take us a little while, given Perry's.
It will take you a while, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So, actually, that's quite a interesting spot. Okay. So you all convene there. As you all reach there, you notice that there's it's quite busy at the station round the corner. In fact, Pranit, you see this the most from where you are. There appears to be a train. It's just left, but then you notice it's not going back down to Mombasa. It's going on the other track, so to the northeast, up to somewhere.
All right. I mean, that's probably plausible that railroads go two ways.
Yeah, it's plausible. It's kind of off. It's a branch off, so you don't really see a train go up there very often. So it just seems a little. Oh, okay.
The little bastards have got a train. We could blow the train up.
Anyway, yes, you convene at Government House.
Mm-hmm.
You've not seen any sign of Annie. She's obviously not gone back to the hotel. The two of you heading from the Norfolk, you didn't see the crowd anymore, actually, where she went off for a few minutes.
Yes, I hope she's all right.
And speaking of which, kind of slightly meta question. How long are you willing to wait? Because it's been a good 2 hours and Obundari has not moved.
I'll ask for some more mother's milk.
Sure. Yeah.
How long am I willing to wait? I mean, I have a feeling that he's on the verge of offering something that might help the bigger picture. So I think it is worth waiting, but at some point I'll need the bathroom. Especially as I've had like 4 cups of mother's milk by this point.
If you mention this to Okomu, he laughs and gestures to somewhere secluded but outside where you can do your business. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do a little bit of back and forth just because I don't want Becky to kind of be waiting for ages, if that's okay with the rest of you. So Annie, you again sort of get a bit more refreshment. You even get another small meal prepared for you as well. But it takes a good 5-6 hours before Obundari comes out of his very deep, obviously a trance of some sorts that he was in. And I'll bring him back up for you. In fact, no, that's Okomo. I did find it really odd, by the way. He's such a minor character, and yet he has a portrait. I mean, he looks great, but it's like, what about the others? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Why did I even put it as 2 separate things? There we go. Okay. So he comes back out, and again, Okomu translates for him. But he says, "I have journeyed many miles into the past, into the future, across the world. I have seen this expedition, the whites they call Carlisle. I have seen what they have done. I have seen them get massacred. The Bloody Tongue, the cult, they were responsible for this. Many terrible beasts were summoned from the other sides to kill and carry off the victims. Those carried away were brought to the mountain of the Black Wind, and the god inhabited it. The priestess, she is still there. Her name is Mweru. She lives in the mountain, and it was she who prophesied the coming of the god's child. I fear that it is coming soon."
She was pregnant. That woman, what was her name?
Hypatia Masters, do you mean?
Hypatia Masters. This priestess, sorry, what was her name?
Mweru. I will put it
Mweru.
in the...
So she prophesied the coming of a child of Nyarlathotep. But so the Carlisle exposition did die.
That is what I have seen, yes.
Huh.
I did also go to a man, a scribe, in the Far East, and spoke to him about this cult across the world. He has written 7 books of forbidden but essential knowledge. His name is Hassan. He spoke of a ward and an ancient tale about this ward, a sign, the eye of light and darkness. He said that this eye could forever chain this god within his mountain, but no one knows what the sign might be. Some magicians that he knew, who are also far-seeing, they told of this sign existing several years ago in our time. The god tricked men into destroying it, and he was unleashed.
The capstone on the pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, in character, you wouldn't know what that was, but you would have seen it at least, I'll say, on the other's possessions.
Yeah, well, I assumed we'd had a catch-up talk. I think we
Yeah.
sort of said as much. Catch-up talk, explain stories, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the capstone on the red pyramid.
I mean, what do you tell him about it?
Yes.
Ah, do you know what it looks like?
only by a vague description from my friends.
He thinks, I mean, he stares at you, but you think he's thinking back possibly to what he was told by this scribe in the Far East. If that is the sign, and if that sign was broken, then that was what unleashed the Black Pharaoh, as you called him. You may find more in these ancient books of Hassan. He told me it was possible to make a new one.
Where do we find these books?
That I do not know.
Where
I
did you
only
meet?
saw him in dreams.
Where and when did you meet Hassan?
He looks confused, as if he doesn't really have much of a concept of when, what time period. It was just simply he did so.
Hmm. Do you know where you met him?
Again, he doesn't really give anything specific, but you definitely think that he was in China, somewhere in the Far East in China. In fact, he talks of a large city on the coast with the waters.
Shanghai. Was there anything in the immediate locale of Hassan that could help me find it? A sign, the name of a shop?
He closed his eyes for a minute and breathes in. I fear that somebody else wants these books. A beautiful woman. She holds great influence over the Shanghai city. He then looks, just simply looks, not even gesturing at Okomu, but Okomu seems to know exactly what he's asking. And Okomu goes behind his seat, I guess, and he gets out two rather odd-looking items. One of them is some sort of fly whisk. It's got some rather intricate designs on it, but apart from that, you don't really know what the purpose of this is. But also the other thing is some sort of strange chameleon in a cage made out of sticks and so on. And he says, these will help you in the mountain.
Thank you.
He looks at the chameleon, and you notice, actually, you couldn't quite tell at first, but this chameleon, it looks really odd, like creepy odd. It's got this sort of more going down the center of its face with its eyes on the sides like this, and it's got two arms, like two front arms, but then you realize that they split into two more. And he says to you, "This is my friend, who is not what she seems. I found her in a faraway place. You may call her Who for short. Take her with you. Feed her well with flies daily. You need but open her cage and free her, for her to be of service to you. But remember, do not let her out until you reach the mountain when you are in need of a friend."
Thank you, Bandari.
And it looks at you in a cute, creepy sort of way. And it sort of
you adorable.
twitches. Like this.
With your sideways mouth. And your freaky legs. How many flies?
It sounds like a kind of a dose of flies daily. Maybe sort of 3 or 4.
Thank you. This woman, do you know more about her? You said she was beautiful. Is she Oriental in nature, Asian in nature?
Yes, she is from there. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is she an old woman, a young?
Oh, hey, Matteo. She is of a younger age. But then, given how old he looks, you're not entirely sure how specific he's being.
Yeah, not very so far. Is she? You said she has power over Shanghai. How did this manifest? Is she in a cult or?
No. She has power and influence. I do not know if she is magical.
Is there perhaps a company name associated with her?
As you
I'll
ask
list a
these,
few that if I can recall any from what the guys said in terms of the shipping labels and stuff like that. So,
okay. You noticed actually when you asked the previous question, he started looking a bit strained, and as you start listing off these other, I guess factions, he starts going back into this sleep of his. Okomo apologizes and says, I am sorry, but he cannot be disturbed much longer.
I understand. Well, thank you, Okomo, for bringing me from the car. I don't suppose that gentleman's still there with it, is he?
He is still there.
Oh, wonderful. I guess I'll be on my way. Thank you for all the milk and the food. It was lovely.
I hope you do help us.
I'll do everything that I can.
He gives some sort of a sign, which you think might be a prayer up to Ngai, their god of the mountain.
And with that, I'll head back to the roller,
All right, yeah.
which by now is covered in children's fingerprints.
I mean, like I said, it's not brand new and shiny. It's well used, this car. But okay, yeah, you head back in. Right, so going back to the other sense. So again, it's going to be a little bit more in the past, given how long Annie waited to speak to Mundari again. But yeah, you all convene at Government House. All three of you do.
Yep.
What is
Well,
So-
they're certainly looking for you, but I think we've managed to throw them off the scent for a short time anyway.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
I
Winston,
guess
you're
we
looking
must leave
damn
soon.
good for a corpse.
I'm sorry.
I said, Winston, you're looking damn good for a corpse.
Oh yeah, right. I even look a little bit paler than I used to. So how was it? Did they ask you questions about my whereabouts?
Yes,
Was it the train again?
the train. Yes,
The train came up.
but they want to talk to you about this murder in Mombasa.
Oh, all right. We even read an article about that.
I think there was they insinuated that there had been murders here quite recently that they wanted to speak to you about as well. I think they think you're rather the mass killer, Pranit, which
Yeah, unless I am going on a murderous sleepwalking rampage. I don't believe that was me.
well, no, certainly not the ones here.
Where's Annie, though?
We haven't seen her. She's been gone quite a long time now.
Yes.
Oh, that's not good.
I tried to delay them, and I think, to be honest, I don't think the police let me go so much as got rid of me. But it certainly did its job.
Yeah, thing is, I cannot be seen that much around town. If the police is out and about looking
No, you
for
certainly
me.
cannot.
Where were you hiding before you get here?
Yeah, I was in a mosque.
Might be worth making that, seeing if they will use an old English word, give you sanctuary, dear boy.
Well, we're going to be leaving the city soon, I hope.
Yeah, we must find Annie first, though.
Yeah,
We're
do.
not leaving without her.
No.
No chance. What I do believe is worth doing is, if you haven't already, pack our things.
Things are packed.
Already in hand.
All right.
I was going to say, where is your stuff? Have you still left it back at the hotel but packed?
It is still at the hotel, and I was considering actually bringing the Hampton House and getting it out and transferred over to there. Actually, we'll take what we need and move the rest of it.
Because there's no way we're humping that around. Even if we could legitimately or logistically do that, Perry's not in fit state to do his bit, so no. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Well,
I do believe we need to find Annie first. I don't
Yes.
know how. My educated guess would be waiting for her at the hotel, unless she's been abducted. In that case,
someone can
screwed.
wait for her at the hotel, and I think perhaps the rest of us should retrace the steps back to the last place she was seen and maybe ask a few questions.
Yes. I concur.
Yeah, going back at the hotel must be one of you two, though.
Yes,
I can't
certainly.
be seen there.
I can go head back to the hotel and make arrangements to move our stuff. If you want to go and ask the questions,
Maybe rent a car if needed.
we're going to need some way of getting up there because obviously, I assume the cultists have left the hotel by now, haven't they, Jason?
Well,
Seen them leave.
you've seen a few groups leave in dribs and drabs, but there's no big sort of en masse or anything like that. Now that you think about it, you do remember seeing a few of them kind of head off almost on a nice sort of pilgrimage. There is a path to the north. Those of them who are walking, you think, because you were theorizing about them maybe going on that train as well.
Yeah. Well, I think the chances of getting ahead of them is gone now because some have already left. So we're not going to head them all off.
We're going to have to head off as many of them as we possibly can. Then there's damage limitation at this point. Realistically, we if we can't get them all, if we can't round them all up and get them all in one place, then we take out as many as we can. I agree with Annie. I think we need to get the army involved and see if they'll go full in.
I don't think they're going to do that. But
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Annie did something cult related, so she gained some sort of intel where we didn't.
Well, we've been a tad preoccupied.
Yeah. Charles and I are going where she was last seen, and Perry is going to the hotel to arrange stuff. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. Let's do that then.
Back streets and side streets as much as possible.
Okay.
Well, there's absolutely no point in having gone to all that trouble to get Pranit snuck out if we just walk very
Well,
gaily
yeah,
down
yeah,
Main Street.
well, yeah, of course. No, I'm just thinking. Okay, cool. So, remind me again. Then who's going where? Sorry. So, Pranit, you're not going anywhere near the hotel. Is that right? So
Oh,
you're
Perry's
going.
Yeah.
going to the hotel.
Harry
Pranit
is
is
going
Perry's
to
going
the
to
with
the
hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other two, what? You said you're going back to what's it called?
To the
The
Kikuyu.
Kikuyu Association. Yes, the KCA.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. You do that. So, yes. So, Perry, you head back. I mean, there is just you, so it's going to take you a while to get your luggage out.
Well, what I'll do is I'll ring the Hampton House Hotel, ask them if they can send around a car or a van with a couple of guys because we want to move our stuff and rent rooms at their hotel.
Oh, okay.
And I will check us out of this one, saying that we're going down to Colonel Endicott's.
Okay. Fair. Okay. So, yeah, you do that and you kind of wait around a bit. What I'll say is just to kind of bring everyone back in. Charles and Pranit, you're waiting. I don't know if you're waiting outside the building or inside, but you do notice this prominent figure from earlier is there and he's doing stuff. The crowd have completely disappeared by this point. He's like talking to one other person. Although you can't understand what he's saying, it appears to be in Kikuyu. But at that point, a car pulls up, and you see Annie in the back. Are you holding the two items, or are they in view at all?
They'd probably be on the back seat. But actually, I was rather hoping to go to the captain, what's his face's barracks.
Well, it is literally just across that
Ah.
creek from where you are, so you're very close.
Okay.
But you see Pranit and Charles seemingly waiting there for you. But you see Kenyatta with another man, and he's sort of closer, and he gets the car, and he says, "Was your journey fruitful?"
Why, yes, it was. Thank you very much. A most
He looks down.
engaging man.
He looks down at the two items and smiles. You don't know if he knows exactly what they do, but you think that they've been given to you, by Albundari and so on. The man next to him looks a little more, I suppose. He's not as warm as Kenyatta. He looks a bit suspect of you, possibly a bit skeptical. But he says, "This man, Sam Mariga, he knows the way to the mountain. He is happy to guide you."
Well, that would be marvelous. I'm curious, is it on foot all the way, or do we go by train some distance first, or something?
He
It's
takes
just if it's on foot, we'd probably have to set off.
this man takes a sigh, and I do have a thing for Sam Mariga as well. Boom, boom, boom. He looks at you and gives a sigh, almost as if you're asking a lot of him, but he's still sort of willing. And he says, "It depends. By the sounds of it, there is not much time. There is a way to go by train first, but lots of them are going that way too. The plains further north are far quicker, but also that is their route. That is their main route. The other way is along the line, following the Abadari forest. There is much more cover there, but it would take longer."
We don't have long. We lost much of today. I fear if we were to walk the whole way, I'm not sure we would get there on time.
Then we go by train. Is that what you are saying?
If we go by foot, can we get there for Thursday? At
Tuesday.
whatever time. Tuesday! Whatever time it's meant to happen. I don't know.
If we march through the forest, then yes. But by the plains we can. But it is more dangerous for the cultists. By train, it goes to Vika, and then we can head north to Ndovu, and we can go from there.
I will leave it up to you, but we must get there by Tuesday.
So the two of you kind of see them talking. You're not very far away, so you can hear what they're saying as well.
I believe it's best we try and make us kind of known to Annie.
Yeah.
I mean, not just barge into the conversation, but to show her we are there actually. A tad worried and in a hurry.
Hello. Sorry, I've just got to go get the soldiers. Could you look after my chameleon for a moment?
Your what?
My chameleon. It's called Who?
Who?
Nice to meet you. Who?
Who?
This is a chameleon, you said.
Yes.
I don't
do
think
not-
I saw. Huh?
Do not open the cage. That
Miss,
is the one and only rule.
Miss Jones,
Or feed it anything. That's the other one and only rule.
I'm going to have a lot of questions for you after you've talked to the soldiers, and I think the chameleon is going to be chief among them.
There is also this strange-looking fly whisk, you think, that Annie's got.
Just adding
well-
it to the questions.
Annie, I'm not asking any questions, but they set fire to our hotel room, and we are in a hurry. We must leave.
Yes. I'll go get the soldiers now.
Yes.
I head over to the barracks.
Okay. Do the two of you stay with Sam, or are you going off with Annie?
No, I'm not going to Fort Smith because I don't recall having a good moment there.
Not really, no.
I'm
Also,
I'm
I'm
not-
not
I'm-
going where it's full of soldiers while I'm wanted. So I'll just waiting here, nice and tight.
I'm rather worried of leaving Pranit on his own, actually. So no, I
I
will
don't
go
think you're the captain's type anyway.
Well, we hadn't actually determined that at the time we left.
Okay, let me just double check a thing here. Okay. Right, okay. All right, so Annie, you head off to Fort Smith, and you first get you get a slight bit of standoffish behavior from the front desk, but when you ask to speak to Dr. Montgomery, sorry, I beg your pardon, that's from a completely wrong book series. Another character entirely, played by Billy Connolly. Captain Montgomery, yes. He gives a nod, a slow nod, and says, very well, madam, if you wait here.
Thank you.
And the captain comes out considerably quicker than the others certainly had. And he comes up to you, smooths his moustache, and says, well, what do I owe the pleasure?
Would it at all be possible for us to speak in private, Captain?
Certainly. And he leads you back to his office.
Captain, I know this may sound a little forthright.
Would you like a tea?
Regrettably, I don't have time for that right now. You see, I'm looking for a man of action, you see. I I have need of someone in my life who's capable of making the difficult and decisive decisions. And so I thought I would come to you.
Well, I will do my best for you, madam. What sort of action are we talking about here?
Well, I have a need of some men. You see, are you familiar with the Carlisle expedition, Captain?
If I am honest, you're not the first person to ask about that bloody expedition today.
I'm sure I'm not. Today? Oh, well,
Yes,
there's a coincidence for you. No,
some men came in here earlier.
well, I wonder if they're the decisive men of action I need.
Oh, God, no. Far from it, madam.
Well, let us see. I have been tracking down the group that killed him and his compatriots.
What?
The only thing
What
is,
do you mean?
well, the group that actually killed him aren't the ones who were arrested, regrettably. Now, as it happens, I'm very close on their tail. I need some men to help me apprehend them.
Charm, please.
I'll flutter my eyelids
I
and
know.
keep my blouse slightly
In fact,
unbuttoned.
you can have a bonus because he's obviously infatuated with you.
Good, because that was a complete disaster otherwise. Where is my charm? Oh, fuck, I'm not very charming, am I?
Apparently not.
Oh, fuck me. That's even worse. No.
He's trying not to show his true feelings of, oh God, not this rubbish again sort of thing. I don't know if you have this mixed up with another expedition, but the men who killed the members of the Carlisle expedition, we hanged them. They were Nandi men.
Captain, I mean... Yes, but the person who ordered the killing is who I'm more interested in.
And who was this?
I'll give the name of the priestess woman up the mountain.
I don't know that name.
Well, you see, Captain, I've always been a bit of a sucker for rank, and I do like a good uniform, but unfortunately, I am a little short on time right now. I would love to discuss this in more detail with you, but right now I really just need to get going with some men to help me apprehend her.
Why? I still don't quite know who you're talking about, but I am trying to ascertain whether this is worth our time as an army. I cannot just simply give them away to you or do them for hire like they're mercenaries.
Oh, I understand, Captain. I mean, not everyone has the balls to make the difficult decisions, do they?
That's not what I'm trying to say here.
Perhaps if one of them was an officer capable of acting independently and he could take his own view on it with all the information.
No. Please don't leave. All right. Look, you are correct in that there was more to this than simply some Nandi tribesmen. We did what we could at the time to prevent any sort of stir from being caused. I am not aware of any priestess. However, are you saying that you're close to her on her tail, you said?
I am indeed. I know exactly where she will be on Tuesday.
And this may sound rather pedantic, but I'm assuming you don't mean a priestess in a Christian fashion,
No.
as in a woman who believes that she can perform witchcraft.
I believe that is part of their religion, yes.
Well, that may be more of a police matter. However, if you're planning to go far, then perhaps I can lend you some men.
That would be the decisive thing to do.
I have noticed a lot of others here who I've not seen before. I have even heard them talking about such things.
Yes, they are heading to the mountain for Tuesday. Most of them will be out of the city by now or by the morning.
Do you think this woman will be there too?
She will.
Then this is quite serious. Are you aware of the witchcraft ordinance legislation of 1918?
Oh, I'm sure there are many laws you could get her on, but mostly I just need the men to ensure she's got.
That I can do for you, madam. I will send a few to help. Bumshin as well. He knows the way.
Excellent. I'm glad to see that you're a man of action.
Well, like I say, ma'am, I do my best. And he ruffles his moustache again and smooths it back. Are you sure you don't want a cup of tea?
Regrettably, we must leave now. We're on a very tight deadline.
Oh, fine. I will try and round them up as quickly as I can. Please, if you wouldn't mind taking a seat out in the main lobby area.
Of course.
I will bring them to the front entrance for you. And I must say, ma'am, it was a pleasure meeting you.
I'm sure we'll meet again.
And he kind of takes your hand to kiss it and so on. he heads off. He heads off away. It's happened to me in real life, and it is horrible. But yeah, so yeah, he heads off outside. You think maybe to barracks or something like that, and you're kind of doted upon a little bit. He tells whoever's there to get you tea and so on. Jumping back to Perry quite quickly, or quickly anyway. So you've been waiting a good sort of half an hour, 40 minutes, which feels a little bit long. You weren't expecting to be quite as long as that, but they do turn up. A kind of big lorry comes up outside, and I guess you get the concierge to help you
Yes.
with your stuff, do you?
Yeah, and I'll get it all loaded, or I'll see it all loaded. I won't get it loaded, and then I'll go to the counter, pay our bill, and
Okay.
sort of drop in passing that we're going to Endicott's.
Okay.
And
Coolio.
then maybe even catch a lift with in the trucker.
Yeah, sure.
luggage.
Yeah, so they kind of let you in. They all, well, there's a couple that are Indian, some that are African. No white men that you can see. Okay. They seem, they sort of smile at you and so on, and they kind of sit you in the middle of the trunk. You think maybe it's the most comfy seat, although it's not exactly great anyway. But they get you in, and they start setting off, and you notice slightly too late that the driver has a little red scarf showing.
Okay.
And you hear the sound of a kind of a like revving, and then they set off. And the one on your left gets out quite a large panga and just holds it towards you, kind of in your stomach area, and smiles at you.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Back to the other two. Feel like I'm going round the table again. Okay, so you've been waiting a while, but you notice that from where you can see up on Fort Smith, you can just see the captain, and he's got a few people, Sergeant Bumption as well as there, and they're all kind of convening out the front. And what I'll say, Annie, is you're called out from where you are at Fort Smith, and you're introduced to everyone. There's a couple of locals who you'd think are just like privates or cadets, but you did see that there were quite a few people, of that descent who are still kind of conscripted into the army. So there's a couple there, and they give their names of Kipken Boy and Origi, and the other guy, the white guy who you hadn't met before, he's got a very kind of unkempt beard, quite scruffly, Northern Irish accent, and he introduced himself as Nails, or rather Private Nelson. And the captain goes, "This one needs to do something useful with his time for a change, so he can go with you." And he
Great.
supposedly knows the way as well.
Excellent. It'll be most useful, I'm sure.
You see that he kind of reaches for a hip flask, and the captain slaps it out of his hand. And you won't be taking any of that with you either. Right, you are, sir.
Well, come along, gentlemen. We have a train to catch. I'll brief you on the way.
Okay.
It would appear Miss Jones has been rather successful. Bloody hell.
Okay.
I
And
thought I was charming.
whether you kind of, the three of you meet back up or not, you all see this from where you are. You see this truck come round the corner onto the road, basically, between you. And you notice Perry is sitting kind of in the middle, in the driver's seat, looking kind of worried.
Could we just stop that truck, lads?
Yes, of course. And you notice that this Sam Mariga's looking worried as well, possibly as if he knows who's in there. And he kind of keeps back a bit, but the soldiers just go up and they try and catch the truck. Let me see if they actually do catch up with it, because it is going at a bit of a speed. Oh yeah, okay. So Nails catches up. He's a lot sort of slimmer than Bumption, so he gets up quite quickly, and he starts banging on the door and tells them to stop. But they keep on going.
What's the guys in the truck? What are they doing? Are they more concentrating on the people outside, or?
The driver is a bit distracted, but the guy next to you is definitely keeping an eye on you, and you have no idea if there's anybody in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can I just sort of, because my wounds just sort of trying to get a bit comfortable, and I'll change my cane to my other hand.
I mean, sure.
And I'm just going to let my hand sort of slip inside my jacket, just ready to grab Mary.
Oh, do you have sleight of hand?
Probably not. Oh, base 10.
Well, apart from base. Okay, you could either give me a sleight of hand, or you could give me a stealth roll. I'll also allow for that.
Stealth then, that'll be better for me. And that is a 28, which is... Oh, hang on. I'll spend 4 to make that a hard pass.
Okay. Yeah, so even though he's got his eye on you, you just managed to move your hand in a certain way that he can't really see. Because presumably Mary's on your right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. So, I mean, you get hold of it. So, yeah, I'll allow you to attack him by surprise, if that's what you're planning.
Yeah, I just want to sort of like knock the hand holding the pannier and and stab him with Mary, or slash across him, whatever is how much room I've got which allows me to do that.
Okay, cool. Since it's surprise, I'll let you do that automatically, but roll anyway, just in case you get an impale.
So, fighting brawl, that is a 58. Oh shit! I'll spend another 8 on that to make it a pass.
Well, again, it's automatic, but it's just
Okay,
to
sorry.
see if you got an extreme, because that
I can
gives
get
you
an
more
extreme,
damage. Okay, roll regular damage then for me.
Regular damage for that knife is okay. Damage bonus is 1, which is an 8.
An 8. Okay. That's certainly a major wound. He does stay conscious, however. But yeah, you kind of knock him back into the door, which immediately causes the driver to turn round and see what's going on. So you could try, and if you're trying to dive out of the door, you could maybe, although the driver is going to try and reach for you.
Yeah, if I can climb over the guy I've just stabbed and force the door open, maybe even to soften my blow, push him out first so I fall on him.
Yeah, okay. You think that the truck is slowing down a bit as well, and the three of you do notice that it is starting to slow down. Nails is still trying to keep up with it, and you think he is going to eventually be close enough to, intervene. Do the three of you approach as well?
Yes, absolutely. Although I do have to take my heels off first.
Yes, of course.
Okay. No worries. All right. So, what I'll say is that as you come up, Nails does eventually catch up with the truck, which does seem to come to a very slow grind as the driver does try and grab you. Perry, can you give me either? Actually, no, it would be. Let's go with a strength roll.
Strength roll, okay. That's 8.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So I'll say no problem then that you managed to hit open the door. You kind of shove the other guy out. Oh, right, okay. The driver completely misses you. Just sort of tries to get you like that, but you're already out. So the three of you see Perry almost fall out of this truck. But as you reach it, and you're kind of nearer to the back door suddenly blow open, and you see Tankawa. Hello, Pranit. Nice to see you again. And we will leave it there.
Ooh.
Well, next week I'm going to jail for real, guys.
Well,
Going to
that
what,
was
for real?
Jail. For
Oh,
real.
jail.
Jail.
I thought you said jerk for real, and I'm like, what?
Does that mean-
Definitely not, mate.
So does
That's
that mean
not
you can't
Stockholm
play
syndrome.
because you've, done terrible things in the park with the trench coat?
That wasn't a park, that was a mall. So get facts right.
You did terrible things to a mole with a trench
In
coat.
a mole.
I want to know what the fuck he did with the trench coat. I'm very worried now. What? Oh,
It
I heard
rather
he did
depends
terrible. He did
on whether
terrible.
this was terrible things in a park with a trench coat or terrible things to a mole with a trench coat. Because a mole is a small mammal, right?
I said in a mall, though. Mall, shopping mall, not park.
Oh, a mole.
Ah, a mole.
That does change context entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to know what you were doing to the trench coat that was so bad.
Telling puns.
Hey, get off of my stage. That's mine.
That's your prerogative. We all know that.
This
Well, that was
pun god is a jealous god. You shall have no other gods before me.
That was a busy afternoon for us, wasn't it?
Just a bit.
Just a bit relaxing, yeah. Just calm, gentle.
I just
Yeah,
need
the pacing is
vacation, and Pranit does too.
Bloody hell.
Well, I thought you could have a nice last stand with Tankawa and her lot before you head off, because why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wanted already. I might as well give them another reason to want me.
It was Ronnie's suggestion of Perry like shooting people down below that made me laugh.
It was a viable theory.
Theoretically. Oh dear.
Yeah,
But anyway,
so
I hope you enjoyed that.
we might
Of
not
course
need
we
to.
did.
We might not need to make our own way to the Black Mountain now, because we might get transported there free of charge.
Yeah, maybe.
As sacrifices.
Mm.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
we don't want to be doing that shit.
Whatever you do, don't let the truck go and get away, because all our guns are in there.
Yes, we will see what happens. And also, I've got a fuck ton of initiative to draw up and things like that. What's so weird is, in terms of stats for like minor characters, Nails has stats, as does Sam Mariger, but Sergeant Bumption doesn't. And there's no stats for just regular soldiers either. It's really bizarre.
That's unusual.
But I can make some up.
All right. Thanks for having us as well
That
as
was good.
every week.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to Matteo for watching. I couldn't remember if you used the same name on this as well as Discord, but thank you for watching.
Thank you for
we will
joining,
see
Matteo.
you next week. Who's doing recap again? Next
I believe
time?
it is me.
I was.
Let me double
Good, because I
check.
wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Okay then. It is you.
All right, so if you're watching, don't forget, Giorgio's doing the recap next week, so turn up half hour late. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ooh.